The New York Rangers extend their winning streak to 3 games as they knock off the division rival Philadelphia Flyers in overtime. I've got some thoughts. Let's talk about it. And well, welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Wat2K99. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch these videos. If you enjoy what you're watching, please do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And, of course, share with a friend. Means a whole lot to me. Love making these videos for you. So the New York Rangers extend their winning streak to 3 games. After kind of a little bit of a rocky start to the season. They're showing signs of getting back on track. They defeat the Flyers at MSG 1-0 as chriskreider scores the game-winning goal in overtime with less than a minute to go on the clock. The overtime was pretty entertaining. The Rangers really dominated, outshooting Philadelphia 6-0. Philadelphia is a very defensive-minded team, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit, as the title of the video kind of alludes to. But the Rangers really controlled the play, but when the Flyers pursued a chance to score a goal with a minute on the clock, all 3 of the skaters were pursuing rather aggressively. The shot came in wide, whipped around the boards really quick. A very tired and gassed mikazibanejad was there for the Rangers against the boards, and he was able to control the puck and chip it out to chriskreider at center ice, who had nothing but open ice, and Carterhart, who had played an amazing game in goal for Philadelphia, in front of him. He zoomed in. The MSG crowd started to rise and get loud. The murmur came up, and it was just a clean backhand to beat Carterhart, and it was a 1-0 victory for the Rangers. Now, a couple things on this. First of all, it's really sad that this is the only time the Rangers and Flyers will play each other at MSG this season. I don't understand why the NHL does this. It's amazing. You know, they adjusted their playoff format, the NHL did, to try to get division rivalries back in the playoffs, rather than having just 1 through 8 in each conference, which to me was just a very good, simple way to do it. Now they do this sort of division realignment where the second and third place teams in the division will play each other, and but of course the wild card could come from either division. It's just very strange. So on one hand, they want to emphasize the division. On the other hand, you have circumstances like this where the Rangers and Flyers are only playing each other 3 times this season. The Rangers and the Islanders are only playing each other 3 times. The Rangers just made their 1 visit to Long Island for the entire season. How does that make any sense? You know, I can understand the east to west thing where they want... You know what? I can understand if they were playing each other 1 time, where every east team played every west team, you know, 1 time a year. That'd be 16 games. That's enough. Just alternate it back and forth every season. But no, the NHL it just has it in their minds that, you know, 32 out of a team's 82 games need to be out-of-conference games. It doesn't make sense. Because now you're losing rivalries. Rivalries are fantastic. I just don't understand why they're de-emphasizing them in the regular season, but they're making this half-hearted approach to emphasize them during the playoffs. So that's one thing I wanted to say just in general. But the Rangers, it was a really, really entertaining game. It seems as though they were just on the verge of scoring all night long. They hit 4 posts. 4 posts. It felt like one of those games where you had to be nervous if you're a Rangers fan that they were controlling the whole game and maybe it just wasn't meant to be that night and Philadelphia was going to maybe steal the extra point or just steal both points. And I got to tell you, midway through the second period, after the Rangers hit another post, I had one thought in mind. Please do not let this game go to a shootout. Okay, because Igor, as great as he is, he's not the best in shootouts. And it just felt like the Rangers, if it got to a shootout, it just was not going to come through for them. I just get nervous when this team goes into the shootout. But it didn't come to that. A couple of things I want to mention here. The mikazibanejad, chriskreider, and Kako line, fantastic. 15 scoring chances were counted. 15 is pretty impressive. The Rangers outshot the Flyers 36-19. They had 8 chances alone in the second period. They outhit the Flyers 27-14. And this goes back to what I was saying. This Philadelphia Flyers team reminds me of the old school New York Rangers, where they played a very defensive-minded approach, and they were counting on their goalie to keep them in the game. And the idea was to just take advantage of an opportunity when you can and win a game 1-0 or 2-1. And I guess it's no coincidence that John Tortorella is now the Flyers coach, because think about it, without this team having James Van Riemsdyk on their team, Sean Couturier, they are very, very limited offensively. And this is the only way they can really afford to win hockey games. And you know what? They've been very competitive. They've won 5 games this season. And for right now, you got to give Tortorella some credit. Now, the only thing with it is you'll be competitive, but the best you could do is languish in mediocrity. We saw that as Rangers fans for many, many years, when the talent, as far as the skaters go, it was very, let's say, mediocre to substandard. Let's be honest. And Henrik Lundqvist, if you look back at those late 2000s, that 2006 to about, I don't know, 2010, that time frame, you know, you'd have 1 or 2 like legitimate players, but it was a bunch of overachieving blue-collar type players. Do I have to run down the names? Nikolai Zherdev and Scott Gomez one year were tied for the team lead in scoring. I think it was the end of 2009. It was Zherdev and Gomez. That's the kind of talent that was playing in front of Henrik Lundqvist. So I see a little bit of reminiscence here with the Philadelphia Flyers with those New York Rangers from about 10 to 15 years ago. So it's just unfortunate that the Rangers and Flyers don't get to play each other that much more, but I'm very glad the Rangers got these 2 points. I'm feeling good about it, and now they've got Boston coming up Thursday night, and then Detroit Sunday. Why the NHL schedules all these Sunday games, afternoon games specifically, I don't know, during the NFL season. I understand if they're going to do them in Canada, where they may not care about the NFL as much. But why are you doing this during football season, NHL? They're getting some things right, but when it comes to the schedule, there's a lot of things I just don't understand with this league. Well, thanks so much for joining me. As I'm recording this, it is Wednesday morning, so check out Jeremy and I at the Jets Chaos channel tonight at 10 p.m. Then I'll be on with Green Bean and Frankie from Flatbush Thursday night. And then as the week goes on, we'll do our confidence picks. We'll do our Jets versus Bills game preview. And the 5 bold predictions for Jets versus Bills. Can't wait to be making more content for you. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker Chair.